Yo, what's up, boys? We are here for some excellent TF2 video game adventures. Tonight, this is the second game that we've casted so far? Third game that we casted so far? Featuring a French team with a French name and the Theorists in what will be a slug match between maybe the last place of the season. I know, I'm spitting fire already. I have no idea because I'm completely out of the loop on anything TF2. That's why Dum's here. Please fill us in.
Yeah, last place is maybe a little bit harsh, let's be honest, but it's definitely a lower half of the table match between these two teams. The Frenchies made it in as the last team from the qualifier, just barely making it in a really, really close game over professional Disney Fangirls into Premiership. Theorists obviously won Div 1, and if your team on Div 1 isn't necessarily stacked with like ex-Prem players, then the move up, it can be tough. It can be a rough time. They're obviously trying the hardest here to make it work, so it should be a close game between two lower Prem teams here. And, you know, if you don't want to avoid the relegation slot back into Div 1, then you won't really get points out of this one.
Oh shit, we're starting. We haven't done a rundown of either of the teams either. So we've got Alien, who's 96. Is that the right nickname? I don't think it is. That's going to be a warning, I think. Who is 96? Oh, no. Is it Af? Carnex. Alright, that's a warning. Okay, that's a good way to start a Prem season. That's just like my team from last season. Then we're going to be going to mid. It's going to be Raph versus Mac on the DuMmTm classes for this one. As we go into Snake Water, and it's going to be the Theorists are going to be parking on their side. Geordie's going to go in first, going to jump into Catwalk. He's not able to connect with anything significant, but he's dragged 3 players behind of the Frenchies, and the remainder of his boys are cleaning up and meeting him hand in hand, and they win this first mid with just one simple rocket jump, and Olga and DWO also goes down.
Yeah, really well done here. Not catching the medic is unfortunate though, because Snake Water stalemates can be really tough on you, and this with an even worse level could take quite a while. They probably want to abuse the fact that people are still down to get some sort of sack in here to last before defense is ready, before a gun is up or anything. There we go. Left jumps in deep, wants to get onto Mula, won't catch the medic though, will go down for it.
Right, is it DWO or is it like a...
I am saying
Duo.
Yeah, I guess that would be it.
Yeah, I guess so. That's a little bit better on the old lips for me to pronounce. I don't have to as much as with that one. And Carnax has realised his error. I'm thinking that's a minor warning still. I don't think you should. I don't think we should let them. We have to throw the book at these people now. This is the 1 out of 2 French teams this season. If anything, that's too many French teams.
And there's 2 more Frenchies as well.
Yeah, there really needs to be a rule here, along with the British scale. This might be possibly one of the most biased casts, at least from me, that, you know, obviously I'm casting a French team, and I hate the French, so don't quote me on that.
No, don't worry, I'm German, we hate everybody, including ourselves.
This is probably the most biased cast that we could ever get. This is now going to be used as the Fox News of esports.
Oh, hello! You're so high, there's comes the second number on my left, wants to catch the medic, the rocket. Comes in just late, Mula actually backspawns in time. Both soldiers will go down here.
That was actually a bit unfortunate. I think if left went in a little bit faster, that would have been a dead medic. But anyway, it's going to be the Frenchies are going to be pushing out through lobby. Olga, they even tried to go for a sack, but couldn't meet up with the medic and couldn't kill a scout either. So that's going to be a trade on the roamer position. Alien has gone sniper, and Carnix has gone engineer. Funnily enough, Raph is playing Durman. I didn't know he played Durman. I thought he was a soldier by trade, but I guess maybe they were short on Durman. If only there was a Durman that was looking for a team this season.
Well, do you happen to speak French?
Quelle était ton anniversaire?
That's more than I can. Ooh, man, extends on the door, gets taken down by Drop really quickly. Devilman down might even be a little bit worse than both soldiers down here, just in order to deny people taking any space. And with a sniper in lobby, that's a lot.
A nice jump from Olga. He's going to go into Sandwich, and he does get the trade because he's running the shotgun, but he wasn't able to get a frag or any meat shots onto Yeehaw. He cleans up that frag as well. But also no Petit Filou.
CC.
Which I believe is Little Yogurt. I don't know.
That's certainly appropriate for the cat here.
Yeah, there we go. So I can communicate that if in a team. We'll just refer to every part on the map as Petit Filou. So anyway, it's going to be once again both teams kind of like just squaring each other up. Alien is in lobby, does get a frag onto Geordie, so that's going to open things up for a little bit for his team, going from last if they do so desire. Mac is a little bit far forward in lobby, but he does serve a rocket to get himself out of there. So again, it's just all Nice and chill. Nice and chill.
It was almost not chill. Mag overextended quite a bit. Was lucky that Dowie was close enough to get an arrow in on him. Otherwise this would have been demo down, and that situation would have been a lot more scary. But as it stands, the Frenchies are able to make a lot more happen here. It's obviously harder to get out of last than to do something into last, but the Theorists are just not getting anything started. The plays, besides the one double stack they had, are just not getting them anywhere right now, and they need something substantial here right now.
Yeah, I think maybe the advantage. Well, I guess one of the problems is the Snake Water last is kind of difficult to push without a pick or a significant. Well, it's hard enough to push last if you do have a full Uber ad, let alone you know, a player advantage. So I think that might be what the Theorists kind of want to go for. They want to get something before they even go in, and it looks like the Frenchies are going to be making their way through lobby as well. With the sniper as well, Alien's going to start moving up. He's probably going to go for balcony, maybe fancying a hero shot. Mac
just
is,
denies that.
Yep, denies that space. It was denied, not granted, and he gets taken out. There's still no off classes from anybody on the Theorists, which is interesting.
Yeah, like they just stuck to vanilla lineup right now. They don't really want to have the sniper here, which is respectable, but it also makes life a lot harder in some situations. For now, they just want to bust in here for free on the left side, get over the Roma with the fact that there's one player still down, take a lot of space, take a lot of damage for them.
It kind of looks like they want to go forward. Jordan is brought down very, very low. Muller is in a pretty forward position, but they do get popped early from the Theorists, and now it's going to be the Frenchies that are going to be popping in return. The sentry does get tinkered down, and critically the dispenser falls also. I'm not quite sure if any of these Theorist guys are going to get out of here, as the focus fire from the Frenchies is just too much, and it's just going to be Geordie left alive. Question, does Leth still use the cheat bind, or is that not allowed?
Do I want to know what that means?
Yeah, he HUD reload schemes, so he lags in the air.
That would be interesting.
Well,
maybe now his internet these days is just bad. Who knows? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt for at least the remainder of this match.
I'm gonna watch him, and then we'll be able to see if he cheats in he cheats in pugs. So we'll see if he cheats in officials as well.
Well, for now he has to cheat his way to defend the second point at his midpoint here, and with one down it's tough. But getting Alien Smiley early here with a sticky trap by Mac will help quite a bit. It was no advantage to the Frenchies anyway. They kind of just peeked in, see what they can get here. In the end, using one kind of cancels the push already. On the other side, Theorists want to just take space again over grass for as much as they can here, but Uber just gets popped onto Dowie, and Raph cleans up everything in choke.
Leth has got a massive amount of space. This might be the only thing that can actually save the Theorists right now. Oh, never mind.
It was just too little too late. They just anticipated them coming from grass and had to quicker drop onto them. Dowie, I think, even dropped. Maybe even then, Raph just completely cleaned up everything, and that just made complete mincemeat of them, and left a nice jump that I was looking at the beginning of that just didn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, it was actually kind of a nice play from Leth and Yeehaw actually try and get behind, but yeah, they got crushed before they could even do anything. Olga's running shotgun pocket, which is interesting. Well, not say interesting, which is brings a small tear to my eye and my genitalia, as I do miss shotgun soldiers, and we're blessed. Snake Water, I wouldn't really say is probably the best map to do it, but it makes it work, and we are now on the opposing last, so such as Snake Water, where we just change places, and it's going to be an Uber being popped from the left side from the Frenchies, with it's going to be Alien's going to be leading the way, trying to get onto Macca's, missing a lot of meat shots though, and does get a smacked with a massive bite. He goes down to 1 HP. It's going to be a soldier, so it's going to be Drew on the right side. He almost gets taken out as well, and actually does get cleaned up by Yeehaw, so there's going to be 2 players down, and it's going to be the scout cleaning up as they make their way forward. All the 3 remaining gamers are in front. So this happened against who did I cast the other day? Yeah, it was the same thing where last pushes were beefed multiple times, and I'm sure this is going to be the recurring theme of this game as well.
Yeah, unfortunately also without Solis they can't really like throw anything onto second, trying to just force Dowie on entry to second here, so nothing much in terms of resistance all the way until mid, and even that they get for free for now. No Uber on Muller yet, only 80%. They pop early though, just saw nothing much to be seen there, so just really safe pop by Dowie, not wanting to lose anyone to whatever might have been in front of them, and it ends up catching no one. Muller has Uber now, they can defend this.
They do, and it looks like Olga's actually really low, because he doesn't have gunboats. He took a lot of damage at the start of it, and Geordie does finish him on the flank with a swift rocket. Geordie onto the medic, does pop Muller in the air, does get the frag as well. It's going to be Duo, Alien and Karnak, just the 3 remaining players left alive. They are incredibly weak. Alien goes in completely solo. I feel like maybe he should have maybe fall back with his team or get his boys in there with him, but Karnax decided to pussy out and just leave his team high and dry. It's going to be him and just 2 more extra players on the side of the French. He's going to try and thwart this last defense as much as they can. It's going to be Olga versus the world. This could be around. The spawns are coming in there. It's coming in with the rocket, but Alien does get Dowie, but unfortunately doesn't save the round.
Yeah, really strange play into second. That just the Uber was just completely negated by the Theorists kiting all of it, and suddenly everybody after the Uber just was completely overextended, not having got any kills with it, and just easy cleanup for the Theorists from there on out.
And apparently the Theorists watched the Big Bang Theory, and that's been posted in Twitch chat, so it's definitely true. So I want them to lose now.
Ooh, that's harsh allegations.
I mean, it must be true. I don't think it's an allegation. I'm sure there's evidence to back that up, but it's going to be both Frenchies bombing in straight away, but they don't get anything. They both bomb different... Well, they bomb the same direction, but they aren't getting any frags. Raph does get taken out as he tried to go forward and try to get some extra pressure for like a soldier bomb. That soldier bomb seemed good at the start, but they both shot individual players, and not only that, they missed those players that they were shooting at, which is never a good thing.
Yeah, empty bombs, and the attempt by Karnax and Raph to follow up on the damage obviously nullified with that as well. Couldn't get anything, were overextended, couldn't leave with either. That's 4 down already, and with that, the Theorists just take this as a free invitation to laugh. Nice, now the one dropping. Rap's rocket goes down instantly.
Oh, close air shot onto Dro, but he does actually skirt it. Oh, and another crispy one onto Olga as well, so he does actually... Well, it's not a frag, so it doesn't count, but... You can put that in a frag movie, and using some cinema magic, you can edit that out to make it look like a frag. Anyway, it's going to be left. It's going to be going straight in. He's going for a big boy bomb. It's going to create some space for his team. Both of the scouts are going to try and get on the point, although Yeehaw is going to be sitting on top of it. Holding the rest of the game is out, and it's a 2-0, 1 round, swiftly after the other for the Theorists.
Yeah, they took a while to get the stalemate over and done with, but as long as they have advantage so far, they're looking like a much stronger team if they can get into that, like, demanding position of Uber advantage at some point here.
So it's going to be the 3rd mid. The Frenchies are going to have to pull something to get themselves back into these mid fights. I believe they've lost both of them now, and relatively convincingly. And it's going to be both soldiers going to be taking up top control. Olga's going to go in as well, and it looks like that was just maybe a fake jump a bit. Duo's going to be trying to pressure in over the top right, so it's just going to be an exchange of spam between both sides. Although a bit more pressure on the top from left, and attempted air shot. He does, unfortunately, left does crater, and Dowie 17 HP as Karnax goes in from kitchen from the flank, and he's going to get the frag. It's going to be Jordan that's going to try and get in, trying to do as much as he can, and App as well is going to pay for his life, but he does get a frag in return, so a nice bit of meat smacked in that kid's face, and he's going to collect a frag. There's going to be some gamers spawning. I think it's going to be 4 in total, and the remaining 2 in just 5 seconds, so this could be a last hold and maybe a comfortable one, because again, it's snake water.
Yeah, last holds can be really strange to deal with sometimes. Really nice mid-fight though, definitely a huge step up for the Frenchies. Just slowly but surely cornered him towards choke, got the damage up top to deny anybody, and actually clean up of it this time. So much better from the Frenchies. Now they need to show that they can do more than just that. They need to push this last point here. Gun is up, heavy is up, that's quite a bit to deal with. On the Uber, the more this time is wasted, the closer now he gets to heavy. 50% on the Uber for him as the push comes in over this gun. Point is being played.
Alien just sitting on the point, uses some of the remaining Uber to keep himself alive, and it's going to be Olga and Left that are going to try and go for a 1v1 MG. There's 2 gamers down on the side of the Theorist. Dowie unfortunately does fall, so there is no heals, but the frags are coming through, but the attrition and the sustainability from having that medic advantage is enough for the Frenchies, and they do get a round back, and could have been a bit of a shaky last push, but I feel like Dowie getting taken out is probably a critical part in that.
Yeah, definitely. They played really slow once that happens and just try to up the heals, especially with a heavy in their face. They just kind of try to avoid him while it's happening and just try to pick up other people, which worked out really well, and just slowly cleaned up from there until he can play the point again.
So this is going to be mid number 4. We're in 3 rounds, at least 2 1s to the Theorists, and it's going to be Duo's going to be going into the enemy's kitchen to cook up something. It's going to be Geordie's going to be playing on the catwalk, but it doesn't seem to be doing much. Karnax, he does sort of drag one player behind, but Karnax was completely and caught left unawares as well, so he's going to pick up that frag. They do get the medic on the side of Theorists, so they do have the heal advantage. They are, however, looking like they want to try and go for a collapse onto the medic, and it's going to start. Ro's going to be in Saw Room. Is he going to start going in delayed? Dowie is in a prime position by Beefs. Oh my goodness gracious me. Honestly, you could put that beef in a restaurant and charge 50 quid for that, because that was a prime cut. Oh my days.
Really nice mid fight by the Theorists. So they just played really aggressive. You might have said that Jordy's jump didn't do anything, but in the end, it's just both soldiers were behind. There was nowhere for the rest of the team to go safely without walking into the soldier, and in the meantime, everybody just pushed across the point, dealt more damage, and they just nicely applied pressure from all directions to get the med kill early, and then just played passive and tried to defend the medic. And with a little bit of luck in the end, maybe, and a little bit of beef, they were able to keep Lowy lucky for the last push.
Yeah, so now we've got a full Uber advantage, and again it's going to go in for the left side on the shutter. They're going to try and get as far forward as they can. The sentries staying alive for a little bit longer. There is no point play, so they haven't got anything going for them right now. Doe's been caught in the middle of nowhere. He does dodge some rockets. They are starting to get some frags, so it's 2 down a piece, and it's going to be a nice point play from Yeehaw to keep finish that cap off. A bit of a messy last push, I will admit, but hey, if you win it, you win it.
Yeah, and sometimes all you need is just a soldier in the air that takes all the attention away from the fact that you are capping the point. Sometimes it's that easy.
You just gotta bait kids into air shotting, and then you win. Yeah. No one can resist the urge.
Instead of, you know, going for this maybe a little bit more required.
Yeah, I can either save the round or I'll be in Beta's highlight video at the end of the season. What's more important? I know what is. Anyway, it's gonna be mid number 5 as we've got Jordy going to go for a big boy bomb. He's trying to get onto Muller almost immediately. He does get a frag. He's not able to get Muller though, and it's going to be Left who is going to be in choke. He can clean up so much. Muller's dropped down to him though, but Left is beeping so many rockets, and Muller is going to 144 HP. He's just taken. Oh, hello. Is this a pause?
It must be, and that is a really sketchy moment to have a pause on. 4 HP Left and choke straight in front of a 150 scout and a full health medic as well.
Do you think he survives?
The question is if he is able to get 2 rockets off that are good enough on Muller that he dies while he has 4 HP. He might be able to get 1 off.
I think he lives.
If he survives that completely...
I can sense it.
That would be something.
I can sense it. He lives. I can tell. I have faith in him.
But again, like, the viewers get so much value out of the soldiers just going in deep and maybe even behind in this case for Left for these mid-fights, and they just create so much space for the rest of the team with that.
Yeah, it's a bit strange though how they can make it work. It seems like the scouts from hello, we've unpaused, and Left is alive. Oh my god!
Yeehaw gets the kill instead.
Oh my god!
Still is alive.
I am a prophet. I am an I told you. I could just sense it. I could sense it in my waters.
Why are you watching TF2 if you can see in the future what?
Well, I don't want to make it... Look, I'll be honest, I'm a time traveler. I don't want to make it too obvious, or, you know, I'm going to get myself into a lot of trouble. But I could just, you know... I've got my incense burning, and the way that the smoke trail lifts into the air, I can tell that that man survives that.
Oh, that makes a big difference now. Suddenly, from kind of a lost mid-fight, but at least we got our medic alive. It went from a completely lost mid-fight, and in the midst of that, now he spawned on crits too, to just have a little bit more of a surprise factor here for last. Can be good, but as we all know, that doesn't increase the damage on the sentry gun, so that could become a huge hurdle if they don't prioritize so well.
Yeah, and the sentry's been sort of surviving quite well. That sentry spot is a bit of a tricky one to deal with, and it's going to be crits being popped. Oh, nothing connected with so far, and Doe does get absolutely annihilated by Duo, who just sort of like just double bombs in, just absolutely smashes them. But the frags are still coming through. The sentry is down. They could actually get somebody just playing the point. Raph is being absolutely mullered. They do get over, but he drops everyone. Oh dear.
I think this is how he dropped the first time too. He just really doesn't want to get forced on last by any means, and it just cost him so much instead of just doing that. Yeah,
that is a unfortunate turn of events. That did look for a very, well, it looked like a very comfortable position for the Frenchies. However, I feel like before Muller even dropped some players, there was just so much damage output and focus targets from the Theorists that it kind of looked very comfortable for them. Anyway, we're going to mid number 6, and there's still 13 minutes remaining in this game. There's going to be Dro's going to go in straight away. He's going to try to get onto Mac, and he does actually get successful, was able to finish him off. Olga almost dying to Left, so it's going to be a 1 mid fight for the Frenchies this time. Everybody on the Theorists are going to try and get out of there. Is there someone still alive? No, it's Yeehaw, but he does get himself out of there. So
yeah,
relatively more convincing from the Frenchies this time.
Yeah, they were just able to deny people crossing the point much more convincingly this time, and that's just making such a huge difference with how much the soldiers get out of these mid-fights so far. Denying that alone makes all the difference in the world. You're getting a good demo pick with that too, and suddenly it's just all over for the Theorists on mid. Then realizing the situation early is good though. Now he survives, gets out early, will have to do it for last. no defense on second world server, so it will still be advantageous position for Frenchies here, but
he's gonna go in. Ooh, actually that was actually a pretty good bomb. He managed to take like so little damage. I think he just took a lot more damage from his own rocket when he landed more than anything else. But this is gonna probably be what we're gonna see for the next maybe 3-4 minutes, because the Frenchies are going to need something that can guarantee them a comfortable push onto last, and the sniper on Yeehaw is going to make that a lot more difficult. Olga is by checking in spawn, so it'll be interesting to see if he wants to walk out of that spawn door.
Well, so far he's just checking now, but the question is what he's checking, because at this point they probably know this is a sniper, and maybe he's just really trying to...
Oh, he's going for it. He's going for it. But Yeehaw, he's on it. He's by checking himself. Yeehaw delayed the spy
check so much too. I think Olga wanted to just wait and spawn to see if he can spot something unusual, if he can see somebody spy checking and fake them out or something maybe, and then like not go spy, I guess, if that makes sense, but he just decides for it anyway, and Yeehaw checked really late.
Although
so they should be aware.
They aren't really checking on the side of the Theorists. You know, they're not really sort of... If you know that you're going up against a spy, I would imagine that you'd have someone go pyro, and they're, you know, they've all got their... They're not really doubling back though. They're not really sort of checking. The bomb comes in. Olga has uncloaked. Is he going? Oh, that's so unfortunate. Oh my goodness. He. Oh. If he just had a little bit more of a longer arm, then, or a longer knife, then that would have definitely all connected. But stubby hands, unfortunately, is going to be the bane of Olga for this time around. The Ubers do get popped on second though, so it's going to be the Theorists who, the Theorists who feel like they can push out on this. Raph has been hit with a multiple amount of pipes, and Raph actually getting the pipes back in return, but on an Uber player. And it's going to be the collapse from the Frenchies who could actually turn this around. There's going to be a lot of them left alive. It's going to be Doey. He's going to be left alone at the bottom. He does finally get a scout with him. Doey, 24 HP. Carnage is going to clean up from top lobby as well. It's going to be just a couple of spawns coming in 5 seconds, but that might be too little, too late, as it's going to be the Frenchies finally getting what they wanted. Probably not in the way that they were expecting, but they'll take that. And the Theorists are punished for pushing out from last. How dare you?
Yeah, but it's like such a common thing too, especially on Snake and a few other maps as well, where just the double sacks, people are feeling so confident and just being able to deal with a push with 4 on second out of last that they just end up double sacking. Maybe not intentionally this time, but they were able to just Uber exchange, get the spawns back up, and then just collapse onto people desperately trying to push onto the point.
Yeah, so another mid-fight. This just keeps them going and going. Alien's going to be putting some early pressure onto Max, try and bully him out, make him a little bit more uncomfortable. Geordie goes in for a big bomb, but again, not able to connect with any locked rockets, and Left wasn't there to really sort of help him with that. And he gets absolutely fiddled by Karnax, who just bursts through kitchen and 2 shots in. And it's going to be the Theorists who might not win this mid. Karnax is on Mac, and Karnax trying to shoot someone that's not actually looking at him is the hardest thing to do. And they do get Geordie back alive, as he died very early at the start of that mid, and it looks like there's going to be maybe a bait play here, but no, they're just going to keep on trying to go, the Frenchies, but against the soldier they opt to not burst through that choke.
Yeah, at that point you was like too close to even in terms of being full, that it's probably risky to do that and just end up exchanging it by accident, so probably for the best to just sit this one out for a little bit. Theorists have a little bit of a different idea, just want to spam into it really badly, but nothing really comes out of it in the end. And that was interesting. That was a lot more like aggressive by the scouts here on the French side for the mid-fight from what we've seen previously. And it still worked just fine.
Yeah, Karnax with a very good proactive play through kitchen, getting a lot of damage. Ooh, Duo gets absolutely fiddled as well. Oh my god, he gets annihilated. That is a rest in peace, as he gets completely denied in the air. He's sitting on just 17 points. How many frags? We don't look at that yet. I'm saving that for the logs. That's my favourite part of TF2. So, but I can imagine at least 2.
Well, yeah, it might have been nice, but in the end, nothing came of it. They didn't really attempt too much to do anything out of the 1 pick advantage they had, and we're just again sitting in the stalemate mid to second, even Uber. Both teams just waiting to see what happens. Olga taking a little bit of the initiative here, but kind of just walking in thrown in damage, and that makes me curious. Is he on a banner? No, he's not. Yeah,
I think he's just making... Oh, go again! Oh, a really nice force on that with a nice skip jump through Soaring. Does get the pop up onto Doey. He's got 20% Uber remaining. It's completely out. It's going to be Geordie. He's got a... Mate, you do not jump in to 2 scouts these days, my son. You get absolutely torn to shreds. And it's going to be a fat Uber advantage for the Frenchies. They want to try and get through this second as comfortably as possible. They have found the stickies, and it's going to be left. It's going to try and get onto Moolah, and he does actually get the four, so a really good play. Oh, boy! Gets absolutely fucking slammed. Oh my goodness.
Well, he can still be happy with this for the most part. Maybe not with quite the end result, but hey, Uber has been forced. That saves you quite a lot of trouble here. Now he is close to having. They just need to keep him alive right now. He's so disconnected from everybody though. Goes super weak on the right shutter. Will just barely reach spawn in time, and everybody just looks for something here. Bro goes in late, but doesn't find Dowie next to the Heavy in time, and nobody else found any success either.
Yeah, the Frenchies have got 6 minutes and 30 seconds to get 2 rounds to at least get this tied up to go to a golden cap. I'm sure that they are aware of the time deficit. They haven't gone for any off classes yet either, and I'm sure the Theorists are trying to get, well, are in this area where they're getting slightly sweaty, as just 1 round is going to completely open this game up.
Yeah, this is roughly where you start actually considering sitting on last for the rest of the game and not take too many risks anymore. So it will be interesting to see if the Theorists want to do that this way, or if they feel the ambition to leave last in some capacity. But it's much like for any other last, Snake Water last, you need something substantial to get out of here. Last time it wasn't good enough. It was 2 kills on even Ubers, and it still didn't get them out and lost them around in the end. So this is where you start being super careful.
Yeah, I think they might actually just park it on last. They've got a sniper. They're probably not wanting to go anywhere soon, so this is going to be a bit of a snooze fest on the... Ooh, hello, a frag onto Geordie, so this is possibly going to be able to open something up, and the sentry goes down as well, so this could actually be an opportunity for a double soldier bomb if they want to go for it. Olga tries to make some room on the left-hand side, does unfortunately get taken out by
rotates right in front of Carnex.
Oh, wow, that is a pop use. That's an Uber use, and it's going to be the Uber exchange coming out from the Frenchies as well. Raph is going to try and jump in, deny everybody from that left spawn. There is no stickies on the point, at least for it looks like for now, but they can't actually do anything with this Uber advantage or that minor one that they had, and they do back out, and the Theorists looking like they want to push out. Could this be the biggest mistake of 2019, or the biggest mistake since my birth? We will find out as the Frenchies do make their way back into lobby.
See, Frenchies are considering to do something not over here. It was really interesting that Dowie went so aggressive there. I think he very deliberately wanted to exchange near the door to just have them leave early instead of giving them space during the exchange, which ended up working surprisingly despite losing players early on. Frenchies aren't giving up those sentry spam early again. Left side has been taken quite a bit. No one on the high ground anymore. What can they do with this though? They only have 80% now.
I do like this kind of play though, putting a lot of pressure trying to get that sentry down, see if it can give somebody a way in. Karnax did. Oh, hello! Dro tried to go in, but he wasn't actually able to find Dowie. The only thing he got his peepers on was on a dare man, and that's not enough. And it's going to be 4 minutes remaining, so it's still possible to get 2 rounds, but they're going to have to start coming up with the goods real soon. As Olga looks like he's going to go from lower, as he's been spotted. He has indeed, so he can't do any sneaky plays there, and there's still no off classes for the side of the Frenchies either.
Yeah, and like we said, they definitely start considering just not leaving last for now. Last time they tried with 2 picks, this time it just wasn't enough. They just don't want to take the risk. Hit gun is still up as well. Not taking too much of a risk there. The Frenchies are harmless to do something though, yeah. Yeah,
Olga's going to go for the same play, trying to get high ground on the tower. Mac is a little bit caught in no man's land, and do actually get the early Uber off, and I think everybody's going to survive this as well. The Frenchies are very, very weak. However, I don't think the Theorists are going to be able to act on this, as they have got what they wanted, which is a full Uber advantage, as they're going to gear up to push through this last. The question is, are they going to beef it, or is it going to be successful? Looks like they want to try and go through shutter. They're going to lead in with the scout. It's going to be just a level 2 sentry. Alien's going to start going on the point, but they did not get a flash of the Uber, so he does get taken down almost immediately. There is no pressure on this left side at all, so the Theorists have complete control of this map. Left does pop wrap up in the sky. He gets taken out by Mac as well, as in a 4 kill streak. And he got a 3 on that last push, and it's just going to be who is it? It's Moolah. He managed to get out, and a scout and a soldier, but that is not how you want it to go.
Yeah, they just didn't have the flash on the right people, didn't really do anything with the Invincible boys walking into last, and everybody else that wasn't basically just got picked up immediately. Draw Aliens Smiley going down early. Contest on second there though. Classic Snake Water dives straight onto Dowie. For the soldiers, it is dealing a lot of damage. Needs to fall back early, but they lose 2 in the process for it.
Olga tried to hit himself with a rocket to reduce that full damage, but is not successful, and oh my goodness. This
that was
is
a complete disaster. They just tried desperately to jump the medic here onto the point, didn't get it, and immediate counteraction by the Theorists could just destroy them walking back here. Last little cleanup kill for Yeehaw will be draw, going down 4k for him. And this could be the game here right now if they just stall a little bit more time.
Yep, that was pretty disgusting, that collapse. That was worse than the housing market in 2008. I mean, that was just absolutely sickening. They all just jump onto everybody in the Frenchies and the Uber coming in. This is just, oh, Mac gets Dro and also gets Mula as they try to exit through lobby, hitting some crisp pipes there. And my goodness.
Coming through. Left wants to deny it, but he's alone against 3.
Is
it quite enough? No, it's not. Mac goes back to deny that. Wouldn't have mattered
now
anyway.
Now they just need to pretend that they got mid and just carry on going to nuts. You know, you've got to commit to this. Don't admit your error. And GG has been called by the Frenchies, so garbage time is it. So it's going to be probably 5-2 or 6-2 for the Frenchies as they no, sorry, it's for the Theorists as they take 3 points for this map as we go into Sunshine soon.
Yeah, there were moments for the Frenchies that looked good. They just struggled a lot to really figure out these mid-fights consistently, I think. And the result is that they won 2 mid-fights, I think. We'll see in the logs for sure. But just starting on the back foot every time made a huge difference for the Theorists, who looked a lot better on advantage than the Frenchies did in the end.
Yeah, the Frenchies are still going to be playing this mid despite calling GG. Come on, guys, you just got to stay in spawn, what you're doing. You can't call GG and still fight. This isn't Dota 2. And left, you know, they were just giving these people log damage. This isn't what you want, just disconnect. But
turn up on last.
Yeah, you can't give them. This is just gonna, when you look at the logs now, you're just gonna be feeding them more damage and you're just gonna feel sadder. Because you're worse.
Well, now he wants to see even more damage for his team. He has the crits ready going to see if they can get anything out of this. Last time, didn't work. This time, maybe a bit better.
Oh, hello. It's going to be a crit scout, so probably the best class they can really use it on. But nothing really happened. It did get Olga, and finally some lead shots are coming out. As there's 10 seconds remaining, and it looks like they want to make it 6-2, and it is. That's the score line, so it's 6-2 first map to the Theorists.
Yeah, that's a good start for the upcomers from Div 1 into Premiership. Just winning the first map. Next map will be Sunshine. That could be going like all different ways, because the last few matches I've seen, the first map result was not at all indicative of how the second map goes. So we might be having a completely different game, or even more of this, maybe even more convincing by the viewers next time.
Well, I've already got the logs up and loaded. Because I do not waste any time when I want to get some numbers on my screen, and the numbers are damning. Have we got them on screen yet? Hurry up! I can't contain these numbers for much longer.
Ooh, that's actually surprising, the top damage here. Well, I mean, not really. Actually, he did well. Yeah, Raf did well the entire time, so top damage isn't surprising. But you know, given how fairly one-sided this was, it still kind of is.
Can we get a sort by kills, because we're seeing Yeehaw with actually KAD, because he's got an 11 KAD with 27 kills, 17 assists, and just 4 deaths in a 30-minute game with only 5,000 heals. So that's pretty much a very, very sickening performance, and I kind of regret having my dinner before I casted. I wish I had it afterwards, knowing this disgusting log status that I'm seeing. But I mean, that's all I can say, really. I mean, the scouts absolutely pounded, I felt, on the Theorists, especially on mids. They did a really good job of controlling it. They did a really good job of like sort of thwarting any aggression that came around or came their way. So I mean, to put it into perspective, Yeehaw has only 2 frags against the scout, and he has 20 frags against a soldier. Now, I would love to see how many frags those were against Duo, to be honest. I think it would be the majority.
A lot, yeah, definitely.
I wish there was a way that we could...
It's just dedicated anti-air gun on your team. Must
exactly.
Be nice.
Because, I mean, I don't really feel like Duo had much of an impact, but again, I guess it's kind of like a a very, very hard game. Geordie as well, I kind of feel like is a bit of a weak link on the side of the Theorists, and I feel like that might actually start being a bit of a pain against some of the better teams because he seemed a bit out of sync. He beefed a lot of rockets as well. But that's just the dickhead inside me. The kind person feels that I can't really say anything positive, to be honest. At least you get carried by your scouts.
It's only week 1. Better realize your mistakes now and fix them for later, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that is...
It could be worse. If this was happening, like, in the playoffs deciding match, that would be a whole different story.
Yeah, that is true. Both medics with 1 drop apiece, so... Nothing too shabby. I mean, yeah, the logs kind of tell the tale as we go into the sunniest of shines. And who do you fancy to take this map?
After the last map, it's easy to say the Theorists, and I'm not too convinced who has like more practice on Sunshine than the other one, so I can't judge it based off that too much. So I will just make the easy pick and say the Theorists will take it.
Alright, I need an exact score line because I forgot to do this on the last one.
Ooh, I want to say it's close. I was saying 3-5 for the Theorists.
I think it's going to be 5-0 to the Theorists.
I wouldn't mind seeing that either if they at least deservedly make it a really, really dominant game. If they can just do what happened, like, in a few of these rounds, not all of them, like the second round, for example, was like a really quick one. If they can do stuff like that consistently, then I want to see some of that, sure.
I mean, I feel like this map is kind of a lot more open than Snakewater, which I feel is going to make the Theorists a little bit too... well, it's going to make them a lot harder to handle. Because this map is, as I said, it's a lot more open. And I feel like between the two teams, the Theorists are a lot more coordinated with their aggression and their play as a unit. Whereas I feel like the Frenchies, they seem to be very, very kind of a bit more disorganized. There wasn't really as many sort of team play scenarios that I saw. There were a lot of, I guess, solo plays in quite a few areas. So yeah, I kind of feel like the Theorists have the advantage of raw DM on their side as well as coordination.
Yeah, for now it certainly looks that way, and like you said, on an open map like this could make all the difference. If you're just not aware of like a small thing that happens in one of these 3 entrances on mid, suddenly there's just something behind you and it makes all the difference in the world. We saw, like you said, a few instances of people just sneaking up on the medics, getting a really easy kill and being able to run away with it, and suddenly the whole game turns around. So some of that could be interesting. Last is often like a thorn in people's eyes as well, to be able to push that consistently, which could make all the difference in the world. You can be good on any other map and like be able to DM your way through, but if you just can't get a good entry into last, then the decent defense alone will just stop you every time. So that is going to be important too, to just be able to get over the sentry gun, get over the point with people that are still invincible, and just start dealing damage before you start taking damage yourself.
Yeah, I feel like maybe the only thing is though is that on Sunshine last, it's actually easier to wipe a team and then to push to last, whereas on Snakewater it's actually a lot harder to do that, I feel. Especially as exiting through lobby from second as the defending team is quite comfortable, whereas I feel like on Sunshine it's actually a lot harder. As we enter the very first mid on Sunshine, you're watching a French team's name that I cannot pronounce versus the Theorist. In the week 1, Snakewater went the way of the Theorist, and it's going to be Snakewater. As we see Leth, who's going to go in for a big boy bomb, does get a lot of damage onto Alien, and Jordy does actually arrive to clean up. Muller does get completely mullered.
We get the daily frag too. Jordy goes down there.
Gets the skill stick out and absolutely smacks that nerd in the face, and that is going to be a 2v2 scenario. They've got Ath, but he does walk straight into a rocket. It's just going to be Mac, last one remaining, and unfortunately cannot do much against the world. So there's going to be the Frenchies taking the first mid.
Yeah, the Frenchies might have been overwhelmed by the initial aggression there between the soldiers to just get a super fast 3k, but they knew what to do. They just had the plan B ready and just storm forward, get all the other kills basically, and deal with that stuff later. Get the medic first, clean up everything around him, and then just try to take the fight from there. Ended up working just enough. Not obviously the most beautiful way to win a mid, but if it works, it works.
Olga is going to go pushing him through choke, just try and get his team a little bit of wiggle room. Mac is just going to be doing the complementary spam exchange as well through choke as against Raph, as they both trying to look to pad their log, so I'm definitely in favour of that. This is probably going to be a bit of a wind down, as we might see some sack plays going through once both teams have Uber. Funnily enough, Frenchies have an Uber advantage of, they had about 25%, but they do not capitalise on this. I guess maybe
they might have not realized how big it was.
Yeah, maybe the Theorists just weren't building properly. Because,
yeah, maybe I didn't see when the medics spawn compared to each other. If it was really close still and they just didn't build properly, then it makes perfect sense not to realize.
Yeah, still, hello, the soldiers are entering in, and it's going to be Doe does get completely annihilated trying to go in. Doe just sitting by the lighthouse, saw him coming. Oh, Geordie gets completely bazingered in the air, thwarting his attempt at a counter-sack. But we could still see one go through, and Mulu is actually in a bit of a suspect position. He's not really in a decent one at all. He's just kind of like just sitting on the slope, who's a bit dangerous, but now he's in a bit more of a defensive posture, as yep, nothing really happening.
Yeah, just taking their time here. You have a few options here. Obviously, sacks, we've seen a lot of those. You can just try to walk your team in quite a bit from like either of these entries you have, and try to take attention away from the other team that way. Left doesn't want to let them take in the flowers at all. Canix tries to see that, but double
goes in for a safe fake bomb, and Dro unfortunately not able to connect on Doey. Does smack Leth, I believe, in the face with a rocket. Or no, actually it might have been Geordie that he shot instead, which isn't the best one. It's going to be Geordie. Looks like he wants to try and go in through choke, but again, going through the tightest hole on the map is never going to be successful when you're a little bit too big to fit in. So we're going to have a reset once again between these two sides, as Drew's going to be spawning right about now.
Yeah, definitely again a fairly slow start to the map. Both teams just taking their time. Nobody wants to risk too much here, which is important to take away from this. We've seen a few plays that were kind of risky, but nothing much of that yet. Each team just trying to let it basically come down to soldiers, and the only ones that actually get through are the blue ones. And if you're unsuccessful, then it doesn't matter in the end here. So far, it's just basically air defense, fortress at the moment.
Oh, Dro's going to go in again with the same. Oh, every time it seems like he does really well to get into the personal bubble of Doey. However, every time he launches his first rocket, it is not on Doey. It's always either on a scout or a soldier. They're not necessarily standing in front of Doey. It's just he just shoots them first. So I'm not sure what's going on. Leth goes in for a counter sack, however, does get absolutely fiddled by Mula, gets out the skill stick, so he's actually have to be forced here because he was actually able to get a hit onto Mula with that as well. So this is not a scenario that they want. However, they do drop two players, so the force does come out, and Drew is actually doing a bit of work on the flank as he does actually take out Geordie. Alien also makes his way behind the choke as well, so there could be an opportunity to back up, but it looks like they're both going to be trying to play for this. Nope, they are now going to start back capping. This is going to force the Theorists to go back for them. Both of them are going to be sitting on the point. Duo's going to try and go around the lighthouse to try and get onto again. I'm not quite sure what he's doing with these bombs, but he's not going on the most important target. So questionable at best.
Still, the backup force all the way back into the second. Nobody has taken space into mid yet.
And Alien is still behind as well, so he's not actually being cleaned up. And everybody on the Theorists have kind of left, and it's just going to be Geordie who's going to be left to try and take out Alien. And a scout versus a soldier, I'm going to have to favour the scout. That's going to be all my money put on that. Is it going to be a block in the mid? It doesn't look like there is. There's going to be a block into second as well.
Left with a huge rocket, just directs Alien down, and Yeehaw catches Mula as well on the try to get back into mid. They weren't crit the entire time. They just really wanted this backup to go through, maybe a bit too badly.
Yeah, I mean, having said that, I mean, when you know you're going to go up against, or you've only got a soldier coming back for them, it's kind of worth going for the full commit. But Leth hit him with the big boy rocket in the face and was able to win that 1v1 jousting. It's going to be the Theories are going to have full Uber advantage to push in through the left side. The sentry isn't even been built fully yet. It finally now does get taken out, I believe, because the gamer originally swapped. Raph does get taken out, so there's no going to be no demo presence on the point. It's going to be Matt who's going to be behind the point trying to do as much damage as he can, and Yeehaw, I believe that might have been a bit of an accidental cap. Because it looked like he was trying to run over the point to try and kill up those soldiers, but he does actually get the cap anyway. So never mind, it's 1-0.
Yeah, but this time it will be less things on his KD in the logs. So that would be sad for him.
Yeah, that is the most important
That's
thing.
Really upsetting, actually.
You can always get the cap later, but you can't get those frags back that you miss. Write that down.
Wise words to live by.
Yeah, put that on a beer mat. It's coming to you into your local brewery. Anyway, it's going to be mid number 2. The Theorists lead the series 1-0. They lead the map 1-0 as well. As Olga goes for a bit of a high bomb straight up into the sky. I think he just wanted to see the stars and left. Goes straight into the cafe of the Frenchies, but unfortunately does get denied access. And it's going to be Olga's going to be sitting, the reigning player, on the bell tower, just trying to do as much as he possibly can. Does a bit of work to draw the attention so the Theorists can't continue pressure. However, the boys are back in reinforcements on second. It looks like they're going to get second for free as well.
And that was actually really nice jump by Lev. Just put him straight behind. He might have died very quickly, but he dealt a lot of damage to, I think, 3 people with 1 rocket. And it just forced the medic to leave early. They couldn't keep contesting without losing his life immediately. Lula left early. Want to contest second though, coming in from lower, getting Jordi straight away. Second point has to have backup threats online, but nobody has gotten forward yet. And Joe just goes straight for the medic, gets the force. Might not just get completely destroyed.
Oh, I'm going to need a new pair of jeans after this. Oh my goodness, I've made a terrible mess. Anyway, what's going on? We're going to see a lot of trade going on. Wrath does take out Yeehaw and Dowie as well, so it's going to be a massive trade on the second point. Mula still has his Uber. He still has it, but Mac's going to go in as well. Oh my goodness, and Mac was so unfortunate on getting the pop. Well, he does get the pop there, but he could have dropped him as well. Does kill himself with his own final sticky. And speak well.
Actually be optimal to get the fastest spawn wave.
Oh my god, Jordi with a nice rocket, but Yeehaw comes in as to help out his boys, gets those 2 frags, so that's going in straight into the logs, and oh my days, this is sickening.
You said that one need to be afraid of the Theorists being able to just DM their way over the map effectively, and so far they're able to just do that. They're just picking up the pieces here one by one.
Yeah, this is, that is demoralizing. I felt like the Frenchies kind of did almost everything. There is 2 engineers on the field, that is a ban. Anyway, there was, the Frenchies kind of did everything right. I feel like they got Dowie off with the early force. Dro did a really good job of actually getting in, taking the attention away from his teammates as everybody tried to go for the air shot and were successful, mind you. But anyway, they're going to have the Theories going to go on the left side. The Sentry does get taken out almost immediately. There's going to be stickies on the right side. There's going to be any point play. There is still plenty of stickies on point. As App now tries to start shooting them off. However, the Pootis is large, the Pootis is fat, and the Pootis is raising down Hellfire onto the side of the Theories. App does take out Drow, so there's going to be a frag that's finally going their way. However, they are getting caught high and dry. The saving grace is that Dowie and Jordi do survive.
For now, with the chase on everybody storming in from lower, we want to get some kills. Jordi tries to take the attention away, but nobody takes the bait. Now he takes all the damage instead. Jordi still dies with him anyway. Really nice defense here. They tried so hard to kill Wrath on that, but nobody could land shots successfully. They wanted to just get rid of the sticks for free, but nobody got the final blow on the DuMmTm.
Yeah, so this is a very, very, very good defense from the Frenchies there. It did look a little bit sketchy as they did lose a couple of players, but the Heavy doing a lot of work on keeping himself fat and tanky as naturally as he can. Jordi trying to go for the flank, trying to get a frag onto Dwo, but he's just going to be dragging 2 players behind, so this is actually not necessarily a bad thing. Does finally get cleaned up. Does kind of stop the momentum of the Frenchies just a little bit, excuse me, as they're now making their way onto second. They're putting a lot of stickies in the forward spawn as there is a Pyro man in there.
Maybe he wants to keep somebody alive there? No, just back spawns eventually. I would have imagined somebody would have wanted to snipe that, but the spawn time was just not good enough for it. So this will move all the way into last with a really nice defense here. And small advantage, if you want to do this, you need to get the medic early or everything else.
They, I don't think they realize they have advantage because Olga just went for a sack. So I feel like they feel like they've lost the advantage. I mean, they have now, but I think they had about 15% that they could work with and go in. This has given the Theorists a lot of time to get their defences in order as they've got a level. Oh, no, the sentry's disappeared. Oh my goodness, it's a ghost. As App is now relocating that sentry just to the left of the point. They have they had a Pootis. It's now disappeared also.
Yeah, the Gauntlet is only level 1 now too. So that's all the defense they want on the low ground now, which can deny jumpers, can deny people trying to take space on the left side defender's perspective. For now, none of that is really happening. Joe gets a kill on Jordi in lower. That's a potential big play. They all rotate right side early, get left. On to left.
Ooh, also got brought down really low, juggled up in the air, was finished off by Alien, so they've got a 2 frag advantage. I feel like they should just try and go in for the trade. They have got the sentry now as well. There are no stickers on the point, so they're going to start going for it. Alien's going to start teasing it. Mac is brought down incredibly low. The Ubers have both been exchanged from both sides as Droid does get finally cleaned up. There's going to be one more spawner. It's going to be left in 1 second. Moolah brought up in the air and gets mullered again, and that is going to be the medic down. They could maybe go for a collapse on a point play, or maybe even a back cap, as they do have a lot of time on that last point. I feel like the Theorists might just sort of wait a few seconds, get everybody buffed up before exiting out for blast. Or they may not even feel comfortable doing so at all with all that cap time that's on it.
That was a really interesting defense, because it almost only came down to the fact that the Frenchies took a lot of damage before the Uber exchange. They couldn't stay in because of the health post Uber here. They want to test second, so everybody's getting spammed.
Dory is not taking any damage from anybody. He was literally caught in the middle of nowhere. Felt like he was standing in the middle of the minefield, but nobody connected with anything. Olga is going to try and go last. Is he going to be able to get there in time? There's going to be a scout in a minute that's going to go back for it. He's going to start getting onto it, but he's not looking behind him. That is not a good thing to do. You should always turn around. And he does get cleaned up. He does buy, once again, more space and time for his team, because, again, they could have the opportunity to just go last. Dowie, though, does have the Uber. And we're going to see Karnax, who wants to try and go from behind as well, but does lose the 1v1 against Yeehaw. They could just keep on throwing bodies, just try and keep the Theorists on last as much as possible, but risky business.
Yeah, Mulan doesn't quite yet, hadn't had anybody to feed for a little while. Leaves the back of early, all of the soldiers just jumping.
Mac might actually die, but does actually block that final rocket that would have been his demise. Alien's also going to go last as well, and it's going to be dragging more people going back to last to try and go behind. It's just those two players on the point, and nobody from the Frenchies actually want to contest this, even though there's 4 people on their last, and they're just going to, I mean, they have Ubers, even Ubers, so they could just maybe hang about, but they're a little bit skittish. They're just going to sort of leave out Moonerism, though. He kind of wants to hang about, but I guess he was dragged by his ear out of the mid-fight.
I did really like the backup attempt by Olga, though, because it completely saves Mulan's lifeline in that situation. There was 2 scouts against this soldier with both having medics behind them, and that's just not a good fight to take. Instead, he just goes for the backup, and Mulan just gets out for free with everybody just trying to chase him back, not wanting to lose round.
Yeah, I do kind of feel like they could have committed on that backup a bit harder, though. Maybe just send everybody for it, because again, it buys you time, it keeps you on their last. Geordie does get taken out as he tries to bust the flank, and it was unsuccessful, as Duo now trying to go for his own flank bust, but he was met with just absolutely nothing there. As we're going to be one of those stalemate situations again. We might see a sack play coming through. I imagine from Duo or Olga once they get their buffs.
Yeah, granted they are 1 round down only, which is a lot better than where we were at the same time on Snakewater, but it is still a deficit. They are the ones that have to make the play here a lot more than the Theorists have to. So sooner or later it's their move to make here.
Yeah, there's an opportunity for some off-class. The sniper's still pretty strong on this map, but probably a bit too early for that. You don't want to waste the time down that much, as Olga calls a debt for somebody, sorry, for Mac on his team. Geordie, incredibly low, gets absolutely denied entry from Flowers, and Yeehaw has found his way behind enemy lines as Karnax looks like he wants to try and go for him as well. Does turn his back. It's going to be a 1v1. He did call his boy, but his boy was not needed, as he does win that exchange and gets revenge as well.
That is 1.5 picks. Geordie is already spawned, but he's not on the field yet. There's some space to be taken in. They're trying to Olga from right, everybody else left. Flowers trying to take some space away. Mac goes super weak left, just jumps the combo instead, gets some good damage, but it's not enough. Will go down. Olga still distracts everybody. Joe comes in for the back, and eventually Mac will go down. Olga dies for it, but they've got 2 more frags here, forcing people back. Geordie in onto the medic. This is 1 rocket, hits the second one. Forced out. Melee hit would have connected too.
Yeah, I feel like he could have probably gotten away with not Ubering then, but I guess that's just kind of one of those things where you have to hope that the enemy game is going to miss, and it looked like Geordie wouldn't have gotten enough damage, but never mind, I have the ability of hindsight, and these gamers do not. Not only that, I can tell the future, as we know from that last map, but so the mid-fight has been won by the Frenchies. However, they've had to pay for it with their Uber charge, and the Theorists have their full Uber advantages. It's like they're going to be making their way through Cafe, as Dowie and Af are going to be leading the charge. Oh dear, oh dear, Dro goes in, double sinks onto him and absolutely annihilates Dowie. That's a big fat DROP. as it's going to be 70% from Müller, and it could be a bit of a collapse as Leth goes in. It's just only maybe just the three alive left for the Theorists, and this could be a bit of a dangerous situation. The spawns are coming in though. Yeehaw wants to go in. The soldiers are back up and alive, but this is just the DM prowess from the side of the Theorists as Yeehaw does get collected and Af is forced out as well.
Yeah, that was a really, really close fight here, and they were just not quite enough to do the job here. Coming out for the Theorists, Frenchy's being able to hold onto this upper. Nice little mid-take, eventually getting force. Jordi straight in there, no scouts on the combo yet, both of them still respawning. Sneaks in there, gets the force, gets out for now, chases on, but they would have to commit deep. Olga really wants it, an alien helps him out a little bit, steals the kill straight in front of his eyes, but in the end, soldier down is soldier down. It's not much to last though, especially on disadvantage to play with.
Yeah, I think he was just a bit thirsty, then he wanted that Sody pop and he was rewarded for it, so that's one for the logs. So it's going to be Frenchies a bit more in control this time around. They're kind of actually, I would feel like absorbing some of the aggression in the fight from Theorists as they make their way onto second. They do pop incredibly early though. Raph is going to get caught out, and that's an air pipe. Even though he was pinned up against the wall, we'll allow that. And it's going to be some gamers going to be underneath. Olga might actually die. He does find his way through lobby, so he's going to be attracting a lot of hatred towards him. Does buy his team a little bit of time. Is going to get 90%, so they could make their way into second once their gamers have respawned. But Theorists kind of want this opening. They have those two frags advantage. They want to try and get onto Müller. It's going to be left, and Müller does actually pop very, very early. It's just going to be on Alien once that is going on. At left, still on the Pell Tower, and he's being swapped with another gamer. So Jordi is up there as well, and Jihar is also going to be busting the flanks and doing a lot of work on the sidelines. Müller is now completely left alone as Alien maybe went in a little bit too hard. Jihar does finally get taken out by Karnax. He's going to have 3 players from the Theorists making their way through choke. It's going to be both soldiers that are going to be bombing forward. Max tries to go for a fake pirouette of a bomb as he goes on to choke, but just sort of turns around and back onto the point. So a bit messy, but the Theorists have a fat uber advantage as they can probably push second for free.
And they were just able to avoid all of that uber aliens, while they're not able to catch up with anyone, getting no kills at all. And suddenly this is a complete turnaround for the Theorists coming into second. Slowly but surely have this uber, don't want to necessarily use it, but people are close, dealing a lot of damage, getting some kills too. Ralph Panic getting 1 hit.
Ooh, a nice arrow from Müller as well onto Dro, I think might have possibly created, but unfortunately does pay with his life finally. The Uber has been popped, and Müller has been caught in lobby, but I believe the stickies and the soldier splash damages juggle that Uber in lobby, almost saving him completely. Alien's going to try and go forward, and it's going to be Karnax that tries to go in from the background. It does actually take out the damage. So it's going to be one gamer. It's going to be 1v1 on the sides. It's going to be Yeehaw versus Alien. But the boys, again, Raph didn't even look at that pipe. That was a 360, I don't need to look pipe frag. Oh my goodness.
You're not the only demo that can look in the future here.
It's Call of Duty. Oh my goodness. It's just like I'm young again. And as we're going to have the French is going to be making their way onto mid. These mid fights and these point exchanges are just back and forth constantly.
Yeah, and now with full Uber formula, this round has been going all over the place so far. Still only 1-0 for the Theorists. This is still nothing to write home about in terms of advantage. He forced him by left, gets the narco infected. Uber just came in anyway on the second. Theorists avoid all of this though, just back off mid lobby, will stay alive. Only at 50%, can't really do much with that yet. Staying alive obviously is nice, having advantage is good as well, but getting out of last with just that is not easy.
Yeah, Leth is behind, so he's going to be able to get some space for his team. He's going to probably call how many people are going back for him, so this might be an opportunity for the Theorists to try and bust out of this, and they are going to be using that Q as they just, with zero fear and zero scare, they are going to just push out. Jordi does actually get taken out, Leth finally gets taken out as well, so Olga also going down. Dro trying to go into the point, just trying to delay the cap as much as possible. The Theorists do get Uber into, and they are probably going to be getting this second for free. However, the French is a little want to contest this, maybe a little bit too much. Ooh, Dowie was just 18 HP before he had to finally Uber. If they do try and keep on going with this, they probably are going to get some frags, but they're just backing out. I feel like they could just go in there.
Maybe, but they just were too afraid to push any further with this. Frenchies will get away with this, just really aggressively contesting at all points. And suddenly they will have the advantage here. They just take their time, get the UA back on the field, get the players back on the field, and take this the safe route now that they can after a really risky contest against the Uber team. And Theorists just have to respect it now. They don't have people in position to force, so they just back off quietly into last again.
And now they've got the full Uber advantage. They've got a 70% advantage as Dowie might be able to get this in time. Oh, wop, wop, wop.
That is definitely the push over. Sticky Trap completely denies any hopes of making this happen. Olga gets caught a bit as well, but Jordi does so with him. Collectively, they both go down. Draw gets caught a bit as well. Is able to serve this one out for now. And Karnex undetected in the backline. Everybody stacks the point. Karnex has more of that one though on last. And suddenly, it's a tight game again.
I was completely unaware of that as I was trying to have a bite of my pizza.
Well, you're not the only one here. At least 6 more people did as well.
Yeah, that's fortunately you spotted that because I was trying to have a chomp of my pizza slice and I was rudely interrupted. As a backcap does happen, so in probably a dirty fashion, but in a way that the Frenchies will be happy with. Nonetheless, they do tie up this game 1-1. As we enter into the third mid, and this time there's going to be DuMmT's going to go for a big bomb, but he just goes through into the choke. Karnex is just trying to get onto Doe as well, does finally finish him off with the pistol, so he's able to get that price. It's going to be heal advantage, but Müller is caught in no man's land as well, so this is an incredibly scrappy fight. It's just going to be one gamer left. It's going to be Olga versus 4. He can win these, I'm sure he can, as he makes his way through the enemy's flowers to pick up some posies, and he's going to maybe make his way in, or is he going to just try and go for any spawners are going to come his way. It's going to be Doe and Mac that are going to be spawning in the second, so he might be able to go for them. He's going to just try and bully them out, as Doe, I believe, has gone crits. He has.
Yeah, unfortunately, so that doesn't catch them in spawn, which with only a Doe man, that would have been a nice opportunity. But the Strange who gets a bit fight worked out for the Theorists and walking straight over Ra for second. Not prepared for it at all. Nobody with them, just all alone next to the point. Will get taken down immediately by the entirety of the red team. Olga still behind lines. That's only 4 on last right now.
Yeah, Braff not expecting nor respecting the bust there as the bust continues, and this is a perfect answer to dropping around for a backup. That is a mean shove. That's the only thing I can describe it. That was a shove. The whole thing.
Yeah, it's surprising too. They played the entirety of the last mid fight, like entirely, basically without Dowie. They just went across the point. He died immediately, and they still got away with it.
Yeah. So Theorists just shoving their way into the houses of the Frenchies, who make our way onto the 4th middle, as both scouts on the side of the Frenchies actually do take a pretty handsome stick to the face. Left goes in, almost takes out Raffin, is actually able to finish the frag. Geordie also bombs in quite high. He does actually keep himself alive as he makes way through the cafe, and it's going to be Doe that's being sent up sky high. Olga is able to finish it off as well, so Müller is the one left alive. All they have to do is keep the medic alive. It's going to be 2v2. It's going to be medic versus 2 scouts. Are they able to do this? Karnex fall down incredibly low, and it's going to be Müller versus 2. And unfortunately, you cannot defeat the scout combo of the Theorists.
Yeah, and Eho will be the winner of this mid-fight. Dowie going crits again here, wanting to catch a surprise one more time, actually able to fire off some crits successfully. Did Arnold at that time maybe, and granted the game situation does allow for it quite well. Would have had anyway by a little bit, but now it's just even more. They might not be ready for it in time.
Yeah, it's going to be once again an attempt for a bust coming through for the Theorists. They do not respect, and now they're going to actually have to be forced to, because Mac does get taken out almost immediately as he waded away through choke, getting caught out by the sticky traps that were just around the corner. So they do have a absolutely delicious crits advantage. Dro, though, he just wants to try and get in as much as possible. He does get in, but it does unfortunately die as a result of it as well. There is crits on the side of the Theorists now, as it's finally ready to go with the soldier in this one, but they're not able to get it on any frag, so they're going to go with the scout. It's going to be Aff, who's going to be leading the charge. Does get bodied by Karnex a little bit too much, and this crits. It's a cringe Krieg. This is like watching me use it, and it's going to be Olga on the side of Tetris, who's going to get taken out by Left as he just respawned and goes back into the fight. Karnex as well is going to try and take out, and does successfully take out Yeehaw, as it's going to be a bit of a scrappy mid-fight, but it looks like the Frenchies have won it, and they do have a full Uber advantage.
He comes in, gets the force, maybe not quite the kill. Müller just wants to play it safe here, pops early, wants to stay alive. Dowie's turn kills has 70%.
Alien was actually sent up to Mars, I feels like. I have never seen someone be skyboxed that high. Luckily, he was Ubered, so he doesn't die from it, but now the Theorists have a crits advantage. They are up against the crits, so surely the Frenchies should be a little bit more aggressive to shut down and try not to give them any space to try and push out from this.
They were last time, which was surprising. They were really aggressive into mid despite the Uber advantage. Ooh, Dowie takes so much spam though. And you said it, going aggressive might be the answer, and it certainly was this time. Dowie just gets completely caught, goes down without any issues. Big Uber, regardless of what medigun he will spawn with.
Now the question is are they going to try and go in for a bit of a dry push, but with Dowie respawning right about now, looks like those plans might get cancelled. Mula is on 80%,
too.
and they do drop a player, so this is going to make this last push even more difficult. Not quite sure if they want to wait for him or if they want to try and go without, but I feel like by their defensive posture, they are going to wait.
Yeah, I can't blame them too much for it. It does waste time. It gets Dowie closer, and it needs to make this incoming push a lot better now. Otherwise, Dowie might just get Uber in time, so everything needs to be much better now. Alien Smiley going down here is just a bit of a hindrance, but it is still doable. See what they can do with this Uber coming in. The right side doesn't accomplish much. Point is being played. A lot of damage on the point. Raw wants to make an entrance. Can't exist. Will both take a lot of damage. Will go down as well as Alien. Point play is high, but it's just not getting enough. Raph, the only one that killed damage on the point, and the chase is on. Raph will both go down in the end here. Dowie completely left unscathed from this push.
I was somewhat confused by when I started casting what was happening. Like, he just started talking over me. I was quite confused. I was like, what is this? What does this fucking jerk think he's playing at? And I realised I was muting, because I was having a sip of water. I was like, oh my god, I've been muted. Am I going to get kicked from the mumble as well? Anyway, Beef last push is going to be lots of gamers on the midpoint, and they have fully advantage on the side of the Theorists, as they are probably going to be able to, I'd imagine, want to try and bust their way into second without using, as Alien's going to be using some aggressive posture to try and get make it not free, as they do some damage but not enough, so it looks like the Theorists are going to take second. Easy peasy.
Yeah, lots of damage actually, but just not quite enough to actually kill anyone in the end, and even then, it would have gotten past a lot more people to get Ebert of Dowie, which comes into last. Now Buller gets caught on the door. Olga as well goes down immediately. Rough takes a bunch of damage. Point not being played yet. Row in the backline, waiting for stuff to happen. As the point is being cut by the scout, by the demo, by the medic. And on the left side, Soldier is completely stuffing the spawn, and that will be 3-1 to the Theorists.
Yep, and with 1 minute 47 seconds remaining, I'm going to have to say there is no chance. And the Frenchies have had enough. They call GG, they end the config, and
actually, wait, did they really, or did the config just mess up?
I
Because
think
that wouldn't be the first time that happened to.
I think they might have ended it because the config goes over from your previous map. So, and it was 5 CP config. Oh no, Raph says it was COF config. Well,
that's a problem. Well, I mean,
who
what
cares?
I can tell you is that I played a game earlier, and it also had like the wrong config without any reason. It was also a best first to free, so it might just be like a general config issue that's just something is wrong or something with Certainly, I don't know. Either way, at least, and that's the positive here, this happens at a moment where it would have been decided anyway. So this could have been a lot worse if it was the wrong config from the beginning.
I kind of feel like the game was out of it anyway, so...
the way they talk about it in-game chat, I think that was certainly not intended by anyone. Like, it wasn't like ending the config basically after the game. It was just the wrong config from the beginning, at least.
Yeah, anyway, they... So that was an abrupt ending, but it was something that I wish more teams did. You know, if you've got no way of coming back, just end it. Just end the config. You know, why dishearten yourself with making yourselves play the last 2 minutes of a lost game? It's not worth it. It's not worth the demoralization. Can I get the logs on screen?
Ooh, who knows? Maybe the logs will be broken.
No, they're there.
Ooh, never mind. Okay.
Trust me, I am on it. I will never miss an opportunity. And it's like a polar opposite of the scouts this time around, as it's going to be after. That's going to be on a 7.4 KAD and Jihar on the slightly lower one. So still, again, the scout combo of the Theorists just flexing all over these nerds. And just been proving to be just too powerful. They cannot be contained.
Yeah, really strong performance for your scouts is always a good sign in like almost any capacity here. Lots of damage again by the Demo Man. Raph dealing so much damage for his team. It's actually quite impressive. I was a bit harsh on him last time I watched him. Well, it's a bit relative, but still. I was a bit skeptical, at least, like you were at the beginning of this game. But he's doing pretty well on Demo, I should say.
I wasn't skeptical of anyone. I just said both teams were shit.
Well, no, you specifically said you have never seen Raph play Demo.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Like you certainly weren't the most optimistic about him, but he has a few seasons now of Demo behind him, at least the last one already in Div 1 before this one, so practice is paying off here. But Mac, this time just definitely overdoing him there. less deaths, more kills, all way more damage. 303 DPM to 275. Big difference there.
Yeah, I feel like again the logs kind of paint the picture of the game. Even though I feel like the Frenchies put on a better effort, the DMing abilities of the Theorists were just too strong, and they just got flexed upon, and that's just it clearly shows as they. Even though the scoreline is a lot less, it still feels like maybe for the last 15 minutes they got completely bodied. But hey, that's all I can say to wrap that up. We do have people here to be interviewed, but I've got no questions.
Well, maybe they just have some interesting things to say either way.
Yeah,
Who do we have? We have Olga, we have Dawi, we have Yeehaw here.
Hi.
Hi. My scouts are betas, by the way. They took less damage than me on both maps. Yeehaw, what's up with that, by the way, Yeehaw? Why you take less damage than your medic? What's up with that, Yeehaw?
I don't think you're meant to be giving the interview.
Yeah, well, we'll say no questions, so now I'm here for you, you know, I'm giving the interview now.
Maybe it's because it's a scout class that has a double jump ability and a smaller hitbox.
I'm playing sniper and like Genji, and he's like, why you take less damage than me?
Maybe you should just take more, just boss and bash yourself and spawn to make him happy. Or does that not count all logs anymore? I can't remember.
It's a show, actually.
Well, I think, Iward, you did actually have a question, but directed at Lev more so than anyone else, I think.
Oh yeah, does he still use the hard reload scheme bind or whatever he does?
Yeah, he lag switches. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Nothing we can do about it.
Surely that's not allowed though.
I mean, you know.
He seems to be doing it on purpose as well.
That's why he doesn't roll out every single time, yeah.
Oh, anyway. That wasn't a question anyway, that was a statement, dumb. It wasn't. Actually, no, wait, maybe it was a question. That was a question to you, it wasn't a question to Lise. I don't like confrontations, please. So yeah, I'm completely out of questions because I'm so exhausted because my breath was taken away by that slamming on snake water. Derry, do you have any questions for yourself?
Why do I still play this game?
What the fuck
no
is wrong with you? How about that's a good one?
No, I asked that to myself yesterday. I've done that one already. I've got the essay written, you know. Read it off tomorrow. Don't worry about it.
I ask myself that question whenever I look in the mirror.
Yeah, fair enough.
But anyway, the season Prem, where do you think you're gonna finish? You're gonna win?
I don't think we're gonna come last.
I hope we get relegated
because we beat both the teams that were in like last week's Prem quals in the finals. So we beat both of them last season. So I don't think we'll come last, but yeah, we could come 7th, which means we get relegated. Be a blessing in disguise, to be honest, wouldn't it?
But if the teams fold, actually no, but you don't get relegated if the team folds, so I guess that's alright. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have. I'm poorly prepared, as you could probably imagine. So dumb. Can you ask some questions, please?
When we talked with the Theorists a bit, Olga, how was your opinion on the game or for your team? You know, it was a tough one straight from the beginning on both maps. On one of the self-admitted lower seeded teams of the season.
Well, we were quite disappointed first to encounter the Theorists in the first week, because I think that we're getting better, but yeah, it was tough opponent, and but we managed to do better this time, so we're quite happy.
Alright, what are next week's maps? I think you guys should know better than me, because you actually play the game.
Sunshine Logjam?
I think is
that right?
Double check for sure.
Logjam.
See the Sunshine Glide or Sunshine
Log?
Log?
Yes, well, you might not have heard of it, but Logjam is back.
Over Badlands.
It's in the universe.
Over Badlands? What the fuck?
It's bad, dude.
Hey,
yeah, but didn't that map vote have 2 versions of Badlands in it as well? So
yeah,
it was like...
combined,
no, it's product.
100%.
It's Sunshine and product. Logjam comes later.
Dowie, can you check what I just sent you?
Oh yeah,
I did.
Product week comes early. Well,
thank you.
I'm just throwing this out there for like both teams here, and I guess product week next week already. How is the King of the Hill going for you guys?
I fear Neo on Sniper because we're playing the other French team next week. I don't care about anything else.
Right, Olga, how is it for you guys going into product for next week already against Feint Gaming too?
Well, on product we're gonna switch roles, obviously, and Like we will try next week with this lineup even on 5CP. But yeah, there will be some maybe some roster changes.
Ooh, interesting. We'll keep everybody informed. I'm running out of questions too now, War, so how about we just wrap this up with some shoutouts?
Yeah, so top from bottom. Dowie, do you have any shout-outs?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to my team, baiting scouts. You know, I love it when they take less damage than the medic. Yeah, shout out to Yak for helping me make my Tinder profile on Friday. We'll do that, Yak.
Dom?
Shoutouts to my boys. Shoutouts to you, War, for stepping in here last minute, because we, as always, just scramble casters together. Barely making it in time, but we're still here.
That's right, I had time to fit us into the schedule, I admit.
Yeah, let's move over to Olga.
Shout out to my team. Shout out to the Theorists. Shout out to Collide for being cut. And shout out to Polly.
Yeah, he didn't get cut, he left on his own free will.
Same difference, alright.
Do you have any shout-outs?
Shout out to Eon, my team, and Delete.
You got to shout out. You got to shout out the last one.
Excuse.
Okay, I'll shout out for him. Shout out to Luigi's Pizza sponsor. Left last month's deal. He has paid now.
Well, you're sponsored by Luigi's Pizza, and you're not called Luigi's Pizza on ETF2L.
I don't know. I don't know.
I bet they're disappointed now, especially after the win today.
All right, so shout outs to all the viewers that suffer and watch this. The teams are playing, the people producing, the people arranging. Apologies for this incredibly haphazard interview. But yeah, we will see you. Is there games tomorrow? Do we have more
No, the next
action?
week one game is on the 5th, a really delayed game. It's Descent against the other French team, I believe. No, wait, that's not right. Against... Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness, guys.
That's a really delayed game, and
it's going to be less than a week that we're going to be seeing all of you boys and girls at home watching, so please don't go anywhere. I expect you all to remain in the chat.
Don't leave the Twitch channel for an entire week, thank you.
I'll be watching. Goodbye, everybody.